It's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokpe Mark Odige, and with me as usual, this week is Alaja Nima's birthday week. Somehow, yesterday we did not remember to start the week-long celebration, but we remember today, and since you and I were in sync, our colors are rhyming. How are we planning for Nima likes to disappear on her birthday? You don't have a choice. You are here.
So you have done what you know she does not like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Put her on the spot. Nima deserves all the celebration in the world. We're celebrating you. The rest of this week, I'm going to be celebrating you. Problem solver, Alaja Nima. How are you doing?
Yeah, she's blushing.
She doesn't even know what to say.
I don't know what to say.
I have thrown away your banter.
No. My banter is to call out this red network and disturbing my life. And I've just paid again, but they have bad network. I thought I was out of data and I paid, but they're showing me pepper. They should even reimburse me for what I suffered last month, but I don't know who to talk to. I don't even have the strength for their wahala. I'll go to the green one. They used to back me up. Yeah, they'll back me up.
Because the yellow one is not an option.
It's not
for Nima.
Can you imagine? All right. So you don't want to talk about what I said? No problem.
Don't worry, she's going to do something about it tomorrow.
Moving on to our number 2.
Well, it was a wonderful
unique scarf today.
Very pretty.
Very fine.
Very nice.
Thank you.
The whole look, the abaya, I love
everything. Thank you. Yeah, so it was a wonderful weekend. Sometimes I just take my time. I drove into a filling station, filled up my tank. I decided to be just enjoy myself for that day. I filled up my tank. Then I have this wonderful playlist. I'll just drive. I don't mind driving in traffic. I'll just be driving and be listening to my playlist, enjoying myself.
That's very, very own. This is the first I'm hearing. I like driving on abroad, but in Nigeria, I like driving too, except in traffic. And then, just drive around town, get to see new places, everything. Explore. Yeah, just for a whole day, and then I got back happy. You're really happy.
Yes. Sometimes it can be preachings. I can just decide to listen to preachings and all of that. Sometimes it can just be something else, but once in a while I do that.
By yourself?
Yes, or by myself. Only me in the car. The music is quite loud. With my sunglasses, feeling myself. Cruising to the, it's usually to the west side. I was cruising to the east side.
You did it on a Sunday?
Yes, I did it on a Sunday.
So this is something that my husband and I used to do a lot. In fact, when you mentioned it, I just realized that it's a used to.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but it's something that we do together, not alone, So that's nice. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, definitely.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. So over the weekend was quite hectic for me, and I did not get to do my nails. Yesterday I was really not feeling it at all. They were looking quite scraggly. And I called the lady, and she said, just come. It was quite late. She said, don't worry, I'll still open for you. And when I was done, I went that night. She massaged she scrubbed my hands, and then she used the hot towel and she massaged my palms.
So it's the experience that you wanted.
Yes, I needed it. And then we just talked about, life in general. So it's very therapeutic when you see that, especially with someone who you've been with for many, 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 many years. So yes, it was a simple manicure, but I really needed it to de-stress.
You know what this thing trending online? They'll say, you want to do your hair. When you sit down, they say, do you want to do your hair or hair with therapy? Because naturally, most women, their hairstylists
that's why you excel.
Pedicure, manicure. Yeah. Once you sit down, you're like, how was your day been? You cannot believe it. My children were this. My daddy was this. And my husband was this.
You now realize, you're not the only person. You're like, no, even this person that this one. Like, okay. So I'm normal. I'm fine.
It is well. Excited for Tuesday. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll go through the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty. My name is Nachika Okeke. My name is Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire.
My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail. And I dare on top your view pigeon. I'm going to bring you bass, boost. I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show, say, now my husband be this.
This is what you want.
After that day, The man
You no go see am
disappear.
again.
If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When you dey friend the husband, you not see sign say the guy small thing, you don vex, don give him
Signs dey always.
If they look for person wey go give am to you, fact as e be.
Men no dey ever get fault. If baby no dey for her, na the woman.
talk no dey be person yo make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if we open curtain in the morning, wetin no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
Husband, look, we no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
.90 hybrid buses in Abuja and Lagos, and you can see the picture of that. El-Rufai's ex-advisor on watch list over 11 billion naira project. And then another story, 72% makes 5 credits above in Wase. Wilson Jack takes oath as heads of civil service. Yeah, we need to be sure. Alleged 5.4 billion shares. CBN, FBN Holdings ask courts to dismiss Barbican Capital suit. So, obviously, there are lots of stories. What are we starting?
So let's celebrate
Okay.
the new head of service.
Oh, new head of
another active woman, Mrs. Didi Wilson Jack.
Yes, I took the story like 2 weeks ago that she was coming in.
Yes, you know, Folashade Yemi on the outgoing one too. You can see how she held the civil service, and you know she's stepped down and retired yesterday. And the president has sworn in Mrs. Didi as the new head of service. You know, when women
we just have to celebrate her.
Yeah, it was done at 1 p.m. yesterday at the council chamber within the villa, and Mrs. Wilson Jack comes with a wealth of experience. Number one, she's a lawyer. Yes, she's a lawyer. She started within the civil service she's from Bayelsa. Started within the civil service in Rivers State, grew up all the way up the ranks to the Solicitor General for Bayelsa State, PAMSEC in the Ministry of Justice, and all the way to the civil service through the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. And so I'm positive of her
ability to deliver.
Congratulations.
This is not a win for. It's not just about women. It is someone who earns it at the same time. Who has the CNG?
I do. I have the prospect of compressed natural gas (CNG) powered vehicles on our roads for public transportation. They said brightened yesterday with the receipt of 90 high-capacity buses by the federal government. The president declared the use of CNG. Okay, as we know, he has said, CNG buses is a way to go in boosting the nation's economy, alleviating transportation costs. He received 30 buses at the villa yesterday. They said his representatives took delivery of 60 buses in Lagos, and 20 of the buses that were received in Abuja were produced by indigenous auto manufacturing firm in Nelson Motors. I'm so happy to hear that, because there were so many things that have been going around, so I'm happy that was mentioned. Another were donated by the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association. Then the remaining 10 were provided by NNPC. So the president says that countries like India have mandated CNG for all their commercial vehicles since 2004. In Nigeria, commercial vehicles make up about 80% of our petrol demand, costing us trillions of naira each month. The solution is here. We'll have it and we'll work on it. We promise you things will definitely get better and prosperity will be achieved. It is a great inspiration for me to receive these buses on behalf of the government, making it a significant innovation to transportation. So he went ahead to commission, they say symbolically commission these buses. I'm so happy for us. We're taking the right steps towards the future, and less, as we know, the economic hardship. This is going to go a long way in helping us do that. And I'm also happy about the indigenous manufacturing auto company in Osun involved in this as well. Let us keep pushing our indigenous brands.
Okay, so I have the story of the El-Rufai's ex-advisor Lawal on watch list over 11 billion naira projects. They said the former special advisor to immediate past Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has been summoned by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. They said Mr. Jimmy Lawal was invited over an alleged light rail project valued at 11 billion naira. It was learned that there was no contract file for implementation of the purported light rail, but they said it was fully paid for. He also said that he was scheduled to appear before ICPC team of investigators, but he failed to show up and he was not even represented as well. So they said, according to the commission, Lawal is being probed in connection with loans, foreign and domestic, obtained without following due process. They also said that the commission had discovered that his account domiciled with a major bank revealed a total sum of 144 million receipts from 4 private companies. Now they said the anti-graft agency has requested the department, the DSS, and the Nigerian Immigration Service to place the former advisor on watch list at airports, seaports, and land borders. They also said that his full name is Lawal Shakiru Olujimi Adebisi. He hails from Ogun State and speaks Yoruba and English fluently. So in case you guys see him somewhere, you guys report as soon as possible.
All right, moving on to the Punch, major headline. Federal government reaches 3-month agreement on local government allocation. Government worried about 1990 era when local governments couldn't pay teachers, worker salary officials. Zenith Bank begins 290 billion capital raise. Russian flag, police move suspects to Abuja, plan sedition charges. Mohbad's family opposes late singer's anniversary event. Revenue generating agencies fail to remit 4 trillion, that's from the FAC. And protest inflation top as Council of State meets today. Marketers project 600 naira per litre for Dangote petrol. The president's unveiling of the 30 hybrid bus, CNG buses, we've taken that story already, and 215,267 results withheld for malpractices, says YX. So what story are we taking?
Can I just quickly take major headline? So even though the Apex Court has ruled that local governments have autonomy and should handle their finances, the federal government has gone into an agreement or an arrangement with the governors to withhold this, the effect of this judgment till another 3 months. They call it moratorium, but I don't care. Right now, they are going to obviously delay the payment of these monies directly to local governments till October before the implementation of the law. And it's reading the entire story of how we got here. All 77 local governments in the country should have been celebrated, and this should have been automatic, because under the past administration, NFIU had tried to effect this and also immediately put a limit to the daily withdrawals of local governments. But now that we even have a substantive judgment, thanks to the Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi, they still have a moratorium, and I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense.
Your voice, you don't agree.
Yeah, no, I'm totally, it's paining me.
That they are worried about the salaries.
Yes.
The governors are citing salaries as an excuse. Whatever the reason, the governors should immediately adjust and find ways to generate their own revenue, as opposed to taking over that of the local government. Also, Oyo, where all the local governments signed their own away. Yeah, it's the one that's paining me.
It's not against the law to sign their own away.
A Supreme Court's judgment. Are you serious?
If
you don't know your rights, they still give you the rights. You say you don't, you sign it.
It's not our hot topic. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be...
Attention, finance professionals and enthusiasts. Get ready to take your finance career to the next level.
Introducing the Account Tech Summit, hosted by the Techie Accountant, an initiative of the Lefort Foundation.
Join us for this groundbreaking event that is designed to revolutionize the finance industry and empower finance professionals in the digital age. Over 6 years, we've graduated over 1,000 professionals. Don't miss your chance to be part of this transformative experience taking place on August 15, 2024. at the prestigious 4 Points by Sheraton, Plot 910, Block 2, Oniru Chieftaincy Estate, Victoria Island, Lagos. Join finance professionals, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and more on a day of immersive learning, networking, and innovation. Register now and join us at the forefront.
Global Entrepreneurship Festival to be hosted at the Entrepreneurship Village in Nigeria, November 22nd to the 24th. Join world leaders, heads of state, diplomats, ministers, governors, investors, policymakers, tech leaders, organizations, startups, and entrepreneurs from all over the world. To attend, visit www.globalentrepreneurshipfestival.com.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're still continuing with Front Page Review where we're taking the story in Punch.
Okay, so this is about monies being unremitted by agencies. So the monies unremitted by revenue-generating agencies to the coffers of the federal government increased by 4.1 trillion naira as of June 2024. This is the Committee on Federal Account Allocations, reporting. Facts stated that this was despite the agency's reconciliation and payment of outstanding debts of 94.96 billion naira in May of 2024. So the latest development disclosed in the report, a breakdown was given of the agencies that are indebted to the government. It shows that NNPC owes now 140.62 billion, that Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and NNPC owe a combined amount of $23.81 million and 1.94 trillion naira. The Federal Inland Revenue Service and NNPC have an unresolved remittance of $141.25 million and 1.4 trillion naira. The Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and Central Bank of Nigeria owe 48.75 million naira. And the report is saying that the government could lose over 3 trillion if revenue-generating agencies in the country do not reconcile unremitted earnings collected.
All right, so what's happening?
So I have,
as in, it's just weird. Yeah.
Where's it going? Why are they not remitting?
Yeah, so I have the story of marketers project 600 naira per litre for Dangote. They said the independent petroleum marketers in Nigeria are hoping. They are hoping. That means they are helping Dangote to.
It's not based on facts. I wonder why it's not.
They are hoping that the Dangote petroleum refinery will sell its petrol at 600 naira or 650 naira per litre when it's finally released into the market. It's not yet in the market.
As in all these
but the prices.
We're still waiting for crude oil to get.
So the IP man, National Vice President Hamid Fashola, saying that the 20 billion naira refinery will bring down the cost of oil if it gets the needed support, especially as it has to do with crude supply.
It's still a story around giving them crude supply. Let me take the Lagos State government, who has the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency has warned against the sale of unregistered herbal products in the state. Now, I'm a consumer of agbo of different. I don't do the one on the street, though, but I was excited to have to take this information during the general meeting of Lascopa. Afolabi Sholebo emphasized there's a growing concern for unregistered and potentially harmful herbal products being marketed online with claims of curing many diseases. And he noted that there is easy access because of social media to unregulated products that will pose significant health risks to consumers. So they're committed to upholding the integrity of traditional medicine within Lagos. So it's not like they're against herbal medicine. They're just saying that it should be regulated, that there is a registrar, the registrar for Lagos State Traditional Medicine Board Prince Babatunde Adele, has welcomed the initiative and asked for collaboration with Lascopa so that those who want to sell this product should get registered. There's an increase in the number, and many people are patronizing this product. Efficacy is often questionable. There's nothing to determine if it is credible, if the claims they are making are credible or not, and this is bringing undue risk. There would be an increase of liver issues and kidney issues. This is me adding my own to the story because I'm really concerned about it, and as a patronizer of their product, I am joining the GOTV to say other people should stop.
Yes.
I don't patronize unregistered ones, but I'm an agbo.
I agree.
Yeah, let's
Agbo,
respect
some medication brought in from different countries that are not registered.
Yes, although not use the word. But I was about to call the name, but there are all these herbs that are brought in, claiming to do all sorts of things, and we really cannot tell. I'm drinking one now, safe. Vanguard, distress as harsh economy forces shutdown of over 50 firms, 80% others in low capacity utilization, over 100,000 employees thrown into the job market. Labour begs federal government to intervene. We have the story of the WASI. I'm interested because credit passes in English and maths lower than 2023. Obviously, our students are not reading or they are not passing, whichever way. Southeast monarchs, clergy decry ethnic profiling of Igbos. Alleged over 5 billion shares. CBN First Bank Holding has called to dismiss Barbican's Capital Suite. So please, who has the WAEC story? Can we have that?
I have the WAEC story. So they said WAEC withholds 215,267 results over alleged malpractice. They said the West African Examination Council has withheld results. He also said over alleged malpractice. Dr. Amos Dangote's head national office stated this while announcing the results Monday in Lagos. He said the number represents 11.92% of candidates who sat for the examination. He noted that the figure was 4.37% lower than 16.29% recorded in the same diet in 2023. The withheld results of these candidates that sat for the examination are in connection with various reported cases of examination malpractice. They said most of them go in with their phones into the examination hall, and also their teachers also help them in, trying to do all this exam malpractice while they are writing their exams. They also said that the WAEC boss added that the committee's decision will be communicated to the affected candidates through their various schools in due course. He also said that the candidates affected by these decisions to call for redress of their cases if they so wish through the waecinternational.org, that's the website. He said, according to him, the council will continue to sanction all cases of examination malpractice.
Okay, so the major headline of the Vanguard is breaking my heart. Vanguard did an article on how the economy has affected people in the businesses covered under the ages of chemical, non-metallic products subsector of the country, and they have a body called the Chemical and Non-Metallic Products Employers Federation. This shows that this body had a strength of about 100 firms, but recently over 50 of such firms have closed down. 4 are on the brink of closing down. And within their strength, they used to employ 350,000 people across the country. And so we can just guess those who have lost their job. Yeah, over 100 workers have already lost their jobs. They are struggling right now. The body is speaking on them, and they mentioned some of the firms. The executive secretary of the body, Mr. Olorunfemi Oke, was the one, decrying this situation. Usually, these are people in business of production of medicals, pharmaceuticals, perfume, soaps, and all of that. And so, these multinationals, medium, small scale, and medium and small scale enterprise, all of them are closing down due to the economic circumstance within the country right now. Yeah, people are losing jobs, and just reading it in totality gives me this. Yeah, because we took LG yesterday with their plants, a very huge plant for that matter, and the people employed are going to suffer yesterday, and now we have to read this again today.
So I want to take the story about the Southeast monarchs. So the joint body of Southeast traditional rulers and representative of Igbo archbishops and bishops on peace and conflict resolution yesterday, they expressed their concerns over the resurgent escalation of hate speech and ethnic profiling targeting the Igbo community. The statement was released by the chairman of the Anambra State Traditional Rulers Council, Obi Nemeka Achebe, and signed by a few other members. He said, history has shown us that hate speech and unchecked hostility can quickly lead to catastrophic consequences, especially with the tragedy of what happened with Rwandan genocide. So they said they understand and they appreciate the president's speech where he spoke against the ethnic bigotry and threats against any section of the country, and that to those who have taken advantage of the situation, they appreciated that speech, but they felt there should be more. So they said respectfully in their view that they want more concrete steps taken. They advised the government that there should be quick prosecution, legal action should be taken against anyone who is supporting hate speech or using hate speech and ethnic profiling against Igbos and other ethnic religion, ethnic groups. They also mentioned that the National Assembly should expedite the passage of a comprehensive legislation that criminalizes hate speech and ethnic profiling with stringent penalties for those found guilty. Then advised education and awareness, that they recommend the immediate deployment of nationwide campaign to educate citizens on the dangers of hate speech and the importance of ethnic harmony, that it can be achieved through public service announcements, workshops, seminars, media, and community, that all lovers of peace in Nigeria should undertake the support for this, and leaders should support as well. I am all for unity. We're stronger together, and our language should show it. But sincerely, X, formerly Twitter, has been filled with a lot of hate speech, and we saw the way UK stood up and spoke against it, created a law, quickly passed it to say, if you retweet, not just that you posted, though, you retweet an information that is not, that is hate, that is a push, that is inciting, you will be prosecuted for retweeting it. Yes. So that is a government that understands the impact of hate speech. We need to see the our own legislative arm pushing that kind of narrative as well. If
only they allow the prosecution and not call it gagging freedom of speech. Because the day is inciting, but here it's gagging of freedom of speech.
Moving on to Nigerian Tribune, major headline, how Nigeria walked into food crisis by experts. It was detailing all the things that could have been done and all the things we can do. Identifying insecurity, blaming anchor borrower, saying elites conspiracy, all of that stuff. And in other news, Edo government, Shaibu fights gets messier. I'm sure Nima has that story. How we killed our boss, demand staff of Ondo Ketra confesses. Police confirm kidnap of 2 Chinese in Ogun State, and court sacks Rivers APC chairman as explosion rocks APP secretariat in Port Harcourt. Now, there's a very interesting picture of the former governor of Lagos State and the current governor of Lagos State. Apparently, the former governor, Ambode, visited a state visit to our current governor, Abajide Sanwo-Olu. Tongues were wagging. What is going to happen? Is there something?
They just be hanging out.
They just hanging out. Okay, well, but the picture made headlines, so something.
I have a sad story to take. Arrest 2 of the 3 domestic staff. They said that they confessed in custody. They said that the woman on her 54th birthday had invited them. She's a caterer. She had prepared this very delicious meal for them. And after they ate her food, they descended on her and they killed her. They said, according to them, we strangled her and cut her head with a cutlass, despite her begging us to spare her life.
Why?
The suspect said the deafening noise from the generator did not let the neighbors know what was going on in the house. Apparently, they stabbed her repeatedly with knives on her stomach. It was a gory sight. They said that they also now, to cover their tracks, they emptied the gas cylinders, tried to set the place off on fire. Yeah. But, they had done a lot of damage to her body that even after, the fire went down, they were able to tell that something had happened to her. So that was what led investigation.
Did you say the reason why they did this?
They took her ATM cards, they took her phones and things like that. This is someone, we always give excuses to bad people. You hear people, well, you too, you need to behave better to your workers. You need to do this. No, it's not about what you do.
People
it's what evil. Exactly. This is a woman who called them to her house, fed them. They acknowledged that she fed them delicious meals.
And they
chose to do that
steal
to
from
her.
her and kill her. What's happening in the Edo States? That's what we can verify now.
The State Commissioner for Communications and Orientation, Honorable Chris Osa Hihari, was the one that issued this saying that the Shaibu is impersonating the deputy governor in Edo State. So they said that all correspondence from him are impersonating. So you remember that he was impeached
Can't wait
in
for this
April.
election.
He had gone to court, and a federal high court had ruled that his impeachment was illegal.
Yes.
Tried to come back. Instead of him being reinstated, the governor then went on and, appointed someone else. And now he's working from wherever he can find as an office. And they insist he's impersonating because they have appealed that judgment. And so they will not allow rule of law. I'm just seeing rule of law.
I'm hoping that they would expedite this. They would expedite the appeal so that we can have justice being served. But it is extremely bad that people in power are the ones that are watering down, disregarding the judiciary, which is a very, very important arm of government. And who is going to now fight for judiciary? We, media. We'll be shouting it here because that's the least we can do. Judiciary is the last place for common men to get confidence.
It's not even, if a deputy governor cannot get justice, imagine.
Very sad. That's how we can take on front page review for today. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the hot topic for today. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Bata, I go drink. So
now one chance for enter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good walking.
Global Entrepreneurship Festival to be hosted at the Entrepreneurship Village in Nigeria, November 22nd to the 24th. Join world leaders, heads of state, diplomats, ministers, governors, investors, policymakers, tech leaders, organizations, startups, and entrepreneurs from all over the world. To attend, visit www.globalentrepreneurshipfestival.com. For partnerships, call 234-912-165-9914. Over 20 million viewers, 5,000 event participants, 200 exhibitors, 43 global speakers, and 12 events, which includes conferences, trade fairs, innovation and robotics expo, art and creative exhibitions, a dazzling fashion show, and a closing concert. All in one global festival. Don't miss it.
Attention finance professionals and enthusiasts. Get ready to take your finance career to the next level.
Introducing the Account Tech Summit, hosted by the Techie Accountant, an initiative of the Lefort Foundation.
Join us for this groundbreaking event that is designed to revolutionize the finance industry and empower finance professionals in the digital age. Over 6 years, we've graduated over 1,000 professionals. Don't miss your chance to be part of this transformative.
Thanks for staying with us. A viral video shared online shows students of school using stones to break their phones after allegedly being ordered to do so by the Parent Association of the school. According to the report, the students were being punished for poor academic performance. What are your thoughts on this? We've heard this story over and over again. We've seen a few, maybe not like as dramatic as this one where the video showed, okay, that's the video showing where they were actually having to smash the phones. But people are saying the phone as a distraction. You can join the conversation by calling us on 081-07641-679 or 090-241-67440, or you can tweet to us at TVC, connect #YourView on TVC, or join our streaming live right now on YouTube, and you can comment beneath our video on YouTube. We would love to read your opinion on the video we just showed, where I can't, like, the PTA where the parents were the ones standing in guard. This first cost money. The what part of me is wondering what's going on.
PTA, Parents Teachers Association. Good.
Wow.
No.
Who wants to dive in?
Okay. Okay, I'll dive in. Anyway, so first of all, Parents Teachers Association, for me, it meant that this was a conversation that was had. Parents sat down, teachers sat down, and they gave they spoke to each other about the children, and they came to a conclusion on how they wanted to deal with it. Did I find it a bit dramatic? I did. But sometimes with children, you need to do something as dramatic as this. Because it was already approved by both parents and teachers, it was fine. This is fine by me. I think for them, it's beyond just saying stop. It's, sometimes when you do something as dramatic as that, it sticks with the children forever. And I think that's what they're going to do. Now, we have had this conversation concerning mobile phone use with children and students, and, different people have said different things. But I've always maintained that I don't think that it is helpful for our children. In fact, I remember one of the meetings we had in my child's school. The head, the principal, was mentioned specifically how she thought that this phone use was affecting the grades for the children. She says that they were able to, compare previous years and a few years now, and the grades have dropped drastically, and they can tell that it has a lot to do with the time that children are spending on the phone. So it's not even just about spending the hours that you spend on the phone. Is that what happens with the phone is, first of all, it's been created to be addictive. And it's been created in such a way that you're constantly in need of something, new information that keeps you, keeps you engaged. And that sort of short time attention span, now you take that to schoolwork. You're unable to give schoolwork the attention that it needs. You're unable to engage in schoolwork because your mind, your brain, everything is with that other one that gives you quick satisfaction. So many people, and it's not just a Nigerian thing, across the world, they have agreed that there is a direct negative impact of mobile phone use on grades. So I'm happy that these parents and teachers sat down and determined what was right for their children and made it not only, something that is said by word of mouth, but created a whole event around it. And I hope that the children will also learn, that this is for their good. But well done to these parents. They took parents and teachers, they took a major step,
Yeah, so for me, I think that breaking the phones is not actually the solution to the problems, actually. Because that's money they used to buy that phone. There will have been other measures. Maybe, for example, they will have been seized, or maybe given to people who need the phones. Maybe just seize it, get it from the child, take the child to, maybe on the street or something, just hand over the phone, format the phone, and then hand over the phone, give it to somebody, or I take with the charger, give it out for free, if you really do not want the child to use the phone. And I have a problem with the fact that these days, let's accept that technology has come to stay. Now, what do? We put laws. Okay, so before you come into the school, search the students. Search the students before they go into schools to make sure that they don't go in with their phones, because that's time for learning. Make sure that they don't go in with their phones, and if they do, there should be punishment for them. But you see, like a school that I know, they make sure that the kids come in with transparent bags. So when you are coming, the bag is transparent. So they are looking through into the bag and everything, and then, checking the kids before they go into the school. Because, of course, phones, they are distraction, but at the same time, they learn with these phones. They learn a lot of things using the phones and all. And again, another thing, again, peer pressure. I can't give my child phone, and then, another parent does not give their child a phone and everything. So there's that, you hear the children, they come, they tell you, mommy, my friend has a phone, they are communicating after school and all of that, and they can't even communicate. Sometimes they even send assignments. They send assignments, and sometimes they even discuss, they have group discussions on the phone as well.
Oh,
so
I wish it was just
regulations, I think we should just have laws, both from the parents and the teachers. We should have laws that could help these children.
What was your...
Because this is a traumatic...
As a parent,
yeah.
I know what it is to, to deal with an addiction to phones. So I was successful with my daughter. My nieces have phones. They call my daughter on my phone. Her friends have phones. They call my daughter on her dad's phone. Not until she's 18, she cannot have a phone.
18,
No, 18. That's the rule in my own house.
Good.
Me, I could not retouch my hair till I was 16 and my WAEC result was in my hand. If I did not pass, I would have waited another year to retouch my hair.
16.
No, I'm just saying, certain privileges you earn. Yeah. Used to put in that you can do makeup now when you got admission. So, me too, I've decided to do, but I successfully did it with my daughter. I'm struggling with my son. Because both of them, what I did is that when they are learning to speak, their phonics and reading, and I get a tab, I use these educational apps to teach them. It worked well for my daughter. When I did it for my son, the boy found a way to another content. So we did some classes on YouTube. He loves the tab, and I see the addiction. So first year, same result can be amazing, but if you leave it, you see the third term result, you will see the effects of the tabs on it. So he's someone who likes to study the galaxy, the planets, and all of that. From there, he has found one cartoon on such a thing, on tech and all of that, coding, and he will be there, affecting his academics. And I see how, as Miriam, it's like a drug on them. If you take it, you seize it, and it's still available. Please, mommy. In fact, yes, I use it to say, okay, do this, and you get the tab. But as soon as they get the tab, you take it back within an hour, they cannot function. It's so addictive. So if at that age we're struggling, imagine when the child has a sense of, being as a teenager in secondary school, you will have a full day. And they say the day we see evil, that's the day we cure evil. If these parents had taken those phones and seized them, some kids will find their way. Kids have this manipulative power of, they will find their way to get it. I was at my daughter's hostel, school no griffon. It is banned in their school. One afternoon, she calls me, it's a boarding school, and there are day students who mix with them during the day, a number. And I said, before I picked the number, I was like, whose number is this?
See, this is your story.
Yes.
It's better we collect that story in full detail after the break. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Ovaltine now comes in a new look with same great taste. Ovaltine multi-chocolate goodness enriched with calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine.
Hello, Niger. The time is right.
Entertainment for me, first of all, I say is a vocation, is work for me, is a way of life that brings about merriment, relaxation, and it's happiness. It's everything good put together. Anything at all just to make you happy, give you joy, make you laugh, make you dance. Entertainment is a way of life for everyone.
This is 7 of 7. My name is OJ, and signing a sobriety into my hands tonight on this social experiment called the 7 of 7 is Owen G. What is the name, or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rock Heart.
No, of the goat when they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
He didn't get it. You know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me further, you mention the names of their husbands and the names of their children. Try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No. Name, real name.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're discussing the viral video of a secondary school that in a very dramatic display, used stones to smash their phones in the presence of teachers on the instruction of the PTA. Obviously, there was an agreement therein, and you've all had conversation. You were going to share a story about
so
your
my
daughter.
daughter's school, no phones were allowed. But one time she had an issue. She called me on the phone during daytime.
That belongs to who?
I was like, where did you get the phone? She said, a classmate brings the phone. And they all know in the class. And she's happy
that will
to
happen.
borrow it and that mommy's number. I said, you are not allowed to call me. So I told her, take the phone as if I wanted to address what she said to the principal. And I mentioned and I reported the phone. Yes. And I said, I would see you over the weekend if it was urgent. I went to see her and I insisted on it. I took it up with the school. One time I also visited the hostel. The entire hostel were on a laptop. This is a senior student's laptop allowed for classes. So these are some of the things that the school are provided within the school. They have a desktop for every student to take those classes, and they're not allowed. But one student, the parent has sought permission, and she brings her laptop to the hostel. And one time, they were all watching a movie. I stood behind them. They didn't even know I was there. You know, so kids will find a way if you give them that means. What this school has done is use your hand.
Of this school.
Hit the devil. That is disturbing you. Use your hand. It's a traditional thing Africans do. Bury it by yourself.
I feel that
get into their cycle.
Smashing. Yes, it's listening, watching this, and thinking about it outside my financial, the way I process, the way I think, I process in terms of the cost of what is being destroyed. If I take out the cost and think strictly on the impacts, I think that the process of them smashing that phone, it's painful to them. It reinforces the message in a way that is far stronger than anything anybody can say. My mom, I was beaten. They tried every discipline possible because I'm an only child. They did not want me to get spoiled. But guess what? The strongest punishment my mom ever inflicted on me was to cut my hair. He pass, kneel down, raise up your hand, do frog jump, be getting beaten. She cut my hair. My hair. I loved my hair. I felt I had really good hair. It was my most prized possession. So the punishment of cutting my hair was a punishment that it would achieve the goal. So for me watching this video, now I'm seeing a process of this your phone that you like, that you will not pay attention in class, you'll be chatting, you'll be snickering, you are sneaking the phone in and out. We will let you go through that painful process of smashing it, watching it get destroyed in your very before, and maybe that would solidify how strong our intention is to disconnect you from this addiction.
Yeah.
And I believe that the message will be delivered.
Yeah. So for me, when it comes to parenting, there's some things that money is the last thing on your mind. I mean, I'm willing to burn down billions and millions if it means that I'm going to save your life or save your future. That's what many parents do, and I believe that that's what parenting is about. And to have those children do that, just as you explained, it will reinforce the message. I remember as a young girl, I used to always take my mom's. For us in my house, you could not use makeup until you were done with secondary school. I'll take her lipstick and I'll put it on my lips. And, you know, from don't do it, I'll, you know, smacking you. One day she took this stone that we used to scrub her. She told me to take it and wash the thing off my mouth with it. I know they would have called it abuse or whatever, but it passed the message because this was not a message that was not ever told to me. I've been told in many different ways to do that, to stop using it, but I did not. And she says, go and scrub that thing off your mouth. I was like, I've cleaned it. She says, no, use that to scrub it off your, your mouth. Then there was a time also, I will never forget, my little brother was always trying to play with fire as a little boy crawling. And, my sister and I would try to stop him. She's like, no, you've told him many times, allow him, and then he puts his hand right in the fire, it burns him. So for me, I think that is the same system, the same mindset behind this sort of thing. I'm so proud of the parents and teachers that decided to do this because I know of situations where parents will be on one end and teachers will be on the other end, and the children that they are meant to protect are not protected because the parents and teachers are disagreeing. These groups of people did what was best for the children, put the children first, and kudos to them.
Smashing the phone though. Let me take Yakub.
I love it.
Let me take Yakub. I think maybe they can seize it, dash it to somebody, give it away.
No.
It's a phone. Yes. Many people don't even have money to buy it.
It's material things. It's not worth their life, their future. That's what they are also trying to tell them. You see all this material, and we throw them away. It means nothing. You are more important to me. After all, it's their money that they used to. It's their money that they used to buy the phone.
Yakub has called in. Good morning, Mr. Yakub. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, sir, and good morning to all of you. Sister Anima, good morning, ma'am. To me, yes, the phone has been smashed, but I'm of opinion that they ought not to do that. You know why? Smash that phone in that kind of scenario does not stop these little children. You see, I go with the opinion of Awa, if I don't make a mistake.
No, her name is Ramatu.
Sorry, Ramatu. Because I think they class fix this phone and then let these children know that your performance will determine how maybe you get this phone back in the next 18 years of yours. If you leave the secondary school and then you come out with a very good grade, I'm going to give you. Let me tell you this. You see, this phone, first and foremost, they use cash. They use money to buy this phone. If you see this phone, you can even see this phone to the extent that these little late children, they cannot have access to it. In fact, you can also take this phone and dash it out. Because as you smash this phone, there's some other people need this phone for their businesses, but they cannot afford it. Why can't you give those guys? Let them know that this phone has been dashed out and that has been dashed out forever. You cannot get it. You cannot get in touch with it again. So it can be better than smash the phone. Wow. You see one little lady as was smash that phone. You first take her hand, cover the face, say, hey, this phone I'm smashed. Why my mother could not even dash my elder brother or dash my relative. You see, those are the things. They all not to smash it. That's my own opinion personally. That's it.
Thank you, Yakub, for your opinion. I started by saying that for me it's a waste, and the waste is also reflective in our culture, where there's been stories of when they found out that a building was being used for either money rituals or the building was being used for children, and then they kidnapping. They demolished the house. The house can be you convert the house and use it for orphanages or use it as a school. There are things you can use that house to do rather than destroy it. I think it might also be the mindset that causes people to destroy buildings. Maybe I don't like the government, let me break the government house. Or my teacher did something bad. Let me do something bad, teacher. I'm just I might be overgeneralizing.
Okay, let's
but I feel like
allow
destruction might be a way
think-
of us driving home a point.
Okay, so like I said, the technology that has come now, it's just a wake-up call for we parents. We have to put in more. We have to do more. We have to do more coming from parenting and all. I don't think smashing the phone is the right thing to do, actually, but like I said, we seize the phone and even give it out. It will also be a lesson to them. They know that they are not going to have the phone. But this case now, like for example, like what Nima said, that her daughter had, she called and all
Somebody
of that.
had the phone.
Do you know that they have been, these people, they bring the phone, they have been watching things with that phone before she even called you.
Obviously.
So even after you must have made that call, they are still going to use, that girl is still going to bring that phone to them because they are different parenting. This mother is okay with her child having a phone. You are not okay with your child having the phone. Your child will cling to those people.
That's where it's collective. This is the PTA.
Yes.
These are all parents and
all
teachers. Of the
teachers.
school
Let me
agreeing on
take the
something.
call.
So that's why it's
Alaji
different.
Kunle before, yeah. Alaji Kunle has called in from Agege. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my dear.
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to look at this issue very differently.
Okay.
And I support the idea of smashing the phone. And why is that? Well, the message, the proper message that was to be passed would not have been properly passed if the phones were not smashed. If they were there shout or something, in fact, there was a situation. I'm talking from a personal experience now. My own daughter, while the school called us to the school to say that, well, her grades are not really up to the mark and all of that. She was too much with the phone and wasting our time on the phone and all of that. As a school PTA, I suggested that the phones be taken and confiscated, kind of, with the purpose of smashing the phone. That was my suggestion. Though it wasn't really taken, but they said we should not allow the child to bring the phone to school again. Okay, fine. I seized the phone, gave the phone to the mother. These daughters, these children, they have a way of going and getting things done through their mother. She went in there, begged and all of that. And the mother finally convinced me to again release the phone. But when the same situation arose, I had to completely, and in fact, I didn't even know where I threw the phone on. I didn't smash it, but I didn't know. To God be the glory. That really worked. The result of, our wife's result was out yesterday, and she did very well. If that decision had not been taken, what were the mistake we parents make is that we only give the phone.
Oh, okay.
Alaji
Kunle, thank you. I'm happy that the experience, at least we now have a story with the other side of what happens when they have less distraction. The truth is that distractions, like Mariam started by saying, scientifically, the phone constitutes distraction even for adults. Talk more of children. And the responsibility of a parent is to protect the children until they are able to decisively take adult-related actions. So if protecting that child is to say you will not have a device, you cannot have a device. That's my way of protecting you, because this device would constitute a distraction from your possibly bright future. Then everything possible that can be done should be done. I have seized controller, and I felt I've hidden this PS controller. Like I hid it. They found, they will find it. I've seized it again. As they're entering this new term, I'm not seizing the controller. I am taking the entire PS and taking it to my parents' house. It is not inside my house, so it is impossible for you to say you found it. It is only when you go to... Yes, it's only when they go to grandma's house they will play.
That's the juju. That one, they will just...
They will say they want to always go there, but it's there. So for me, it's a case of we must do everything to protect, because it is addictive. It's not a decision. If you see the way these children sometimes cry, just because I can't find my laptop, the keep is not, the enter is not working. Enter is, and you are crying because enter is not working. I said, we'll fix it. But I'm trying to do, enter is not working. Enter is not, and you are crying. So their brain is not formed.
Thank you.
Well, that's the decision why we decided that some of them should go to boarding schools. Because once you go to boarding school, you don't have access to all of those things.
No, but we have just explained to you.
Yes, it's the day students that bring it, but there are schools that they only is strictly boarding.
Okay.
Then some, yes, they can have this.
Well, Ramatu, just as you know, what we're discussing earlier is the fact that parents and teachers have agreed to do this. So you send your child to boarding school because you have refused to do the work of insisting and making sure that your child understands that, you know, this is unacceptable for you. And then you send him off to boarding school, assuming and hoping that the teachers will do what you're unable to do or you have refused to do, you know. So that's why I keep saying what has made this beautiful is that you are sure that the teacher on the other side is doing exactly how you feel, you know, what you want for your child. But I was going to say this conversation about, oh, it should have been saved, oh, it should have been given to charity, oh, and I feel that is right now, this is the list of the problem concerning this conversation. Charity can always happen. Do you know how many times we do wasteful things, you know, at home? And then when it comes to this very one that has to do with protecting the future of our children, we're thinking, oh, it should be charity. If time for charity comes, there will be charity. They'll put their clothes together, they'll put whatever. The phones, if they were even interested in charity, the children, why didn't they give the phones out by themselves? It's because the children were holding on to these things. So the charity is another conversation altogether. It has nothing to do with this conversation. I think the most important thing about this conversation is that children have been asked, you know, to take responsibility as well for their future. When we say if you demolish things, we destroy things, maybe it's a Nigerian African culture. Oyinbo people do it. Maybe if we give people Oyinbo example, you understand that it's not something. Sometimes Oyinbo people will destroy something because it's also a symbolic. So even if the thing dies or stops happening, there's also the part that it's a symbolic, you know, thing. You know, no, it's still because it's still there. It's still like a symbol of that thing. Let's look at. I'm taking us very far now. When what's his name was killed, that terrorist that bombed 9/11, not Saddam Hussein, Bin Laden. The reason why we don't know where he was buried is because there are some things that they have understood that can continue to be a symbol for something, becomes a shrine for something. So when you put this situation where you destroy the phone, you have broken down just even the symbol, you have sent a message that even the fact that this phone is not so important, too expensive for me to handle it properly. You know, this. No, as expensive as this phone is, I'm willing to destroy it.
Sacrificing this for your own growth.
It will cost me money. Even me. You know the same way they say, Pikin no let him, mama.
He's not sleeping.
He's not sleeping. But also the other way around.
Yeah,
there are times that I've had to punish my son that I know that I was punishing myself as well. But I was willing to take that punishment because for his sake. Wake up and do something. He refuses to wake up. Who is going to sit down and enforce that thing that he's supposed to do? Me. I'm going to sacrifice a lot of things so that he does that. There's so many things willing to this is such a passionate thing for me. There's so many things I'm willing to sacrifice as long as I know that the end result will be better for my child.
TV series I refuse to watch because I want them to be with me in the parlor so that, and I can't watch it because it is above their age grade. So I cannot do what I want to do because I would rather they stay with me and I'm able to see what they're doing. Dr. Ismail has called. I would like some psychologists to call to talk about the impact of this on the more mental, maybe traumatizing the children. I don't know. Dr. Ismail, welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Good morning.
Awesome. We are live. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning. I've listened to the contributions. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Let's listen to your phone.
Yes, I've listened to the contributions of all the beautiful and the matured mamas on the screen. However, my own observation is, number one, it was a good thing that the agreement was between the teachers and the Parents Association. Fantastic. That was a level playing ground. That was a kind of consensus across that. Then the punishment also, it's also good. let them smart these things and send a kind of psychological remembrance of materialism as not really essential at this stage in their life. But I, as a strategic communication expert, I don't want to go with, documentation of that scenario. And then at the same time, making it available on the social media. It could be reported as a news, but videoing it and letting it go viral. Because one, that scenario can also send some rebellious, traumatic experience into the children, to some extent. Because you could see, if you watch the children smashing those things, there were a lot of different reactions. And those reactions, they come with different emotional understanding about why and how those phones are being destroyed. So parents will need to go back and do a kind of therapeutic lesson individually at their homes after that incident. Otherwise, you may have a kind of long-time bitterness to contain. And that may also affect the psychological stabilization of the student to learn, especially if they are boarding students. So that's my own opinion. And I think after these punishment, there should be a kind of season of therapy, a kind of education, sensitization, and a kind of allowing to be able to absorb the shock that comes with that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail. Life is going to we need to prepare these children for the future they are going to live in. They are going to live in a future where they will be forced to do things that are lawful because they disobeyed. I am sure these children have been informed that they would smash the phone if they are caught with the phone. It wasn't every child in the school. Because if it was every child in the school that brought phone, there will be more phones on the table. I mean, on that was seized. So I think it is only those who disobeyed that came with their phone when they've been told not to. Each of them by themselves, smashing their phone it is one-on-one. You collect your phone, then you will smash it. So you say this phone is... You see them crying. They did not beat them. They were wiping their face, crying. Before the people started smashing it, they were already crying. So it shows the level of emotional attachment they have to this device. How can you use money to buy a device? And the device will not become... It will become a stronghold over your life. How would I gift my children something and that thing will be controlling them negatively against me? Or more, we will do therapy.
So it's the same thing for anything addictive.
Yes.
When we talk about substances as well. If you found your child with a substance addictive, you will not calculate the cost.
Thank you.
It's not the money that you
Not that the cocaine was very expensive.
Thank you.
You will take it out and burn it no matter what. I remember my mom burning my red fabric. The things they pay me because it was a red fabric. And she had told me, stop wearing it, stop wearing it. I don't have good dreams when you dress. And I love it. It looks very nice.
Oh, that's example, sir.
Lessons learned. Everything is a learning curve for some people, for them. I like the fact that the parents were in the know and they are in agreement. What would have caused confusion is parents saying, okay, we'll refund our cost. No matter the cost in question, what do you value the most? Child. What you must do is prioritize the child over that. What the child has also learned is that you feel the way we learned to deal with addiction, it was really in our time. What we learned is that if it is becoming so much, close it. Kill that mentality one time. So if I see something that I see wants to take over control of me, I can't put myself over it. That thing has to go. No matter how it has to go. Whether burnt, destroyed, broken, anything, or thrown away, it has to go. Leave my space so that I can, then be in full control of myself. And that's what they've taught these children. We continue to look at the cost of phones as opposed to the child and the distraction and the cost of it. We had a caller who just called and mentioned that the year it was taken, the child did better. So give your child that, okay, you deserve a phone like your mates, but you will earn it in my house, which is what I tell my children. No matter where we visit, they will go and look at the friend's phone, my niece's phone. I say, mommy, Nima has a phone. And the mommy even allow it. We will listen to. That's your business. Exactly. In my house, you will earn the right to a phone. And that's how it's going to be.
Let me take Ade's call. Ade has called in from London. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. How are you today?
Very well,
thank you, sir.
Yes, personally, I'm totally against what happened. Destroying their phone, what they bought. To me, my own view is a primitive idea. They're exposing their daughters to danger. Instead of, they should have seized the phone and keep it at home and control how they use it in their presence. Now they have exposed those girls. Another boy will just call them, say, come and use my phone before you get home. Come to my room. I will show you, I'll come and do what you want to do. I mean, it's dangerous. They will go because they are hungry to touch the phone. So they follow the boy to anywhere to check the phone and quickly go back home. Anything can happen there. So they have exposed their daughter to danger. So me, I don't support it at all.
Wow.
That's my own view about this.
Different strokes for different players.
When we were little, TV was the thing.
Yes.
Some families did not have it. I'll tell you this story, and it's a real one. My family was the first to get us a color TV in the neighborhood where I lived. My dad just came back from my papa that day. They were opening container. He bought a color TV with the DVD player, everything. This cassette player. Bought it and he came home. I was about 7. And he put it in the parlor. My uncles, 11 of them, I'm calling you people out on live TV, living in my house. Thought, okay, they've gotten a way to enjoy themselves. My father bought TV for us, his children, but he had not bought the film that we will use it to watch. So he went to work the very next day and came back home. And we were seated in between my uncles and they were watching an adult movie. My father just carried the TV like that all the way out. Another neighbor said, oh, I want it. That one was driving past. My father said, carry it, everything. Any day you have the money, bring it.
Come and spoil my
children. When we grew up and earned the right to TV, there is no way I want to watch it in somebody's house. It's not a rule. If they call you 2-3 times, you didn't show, you're in trouble. You will check your child other ways. You have to.
But I think that
if ordinarily your child can be called to come and do something you are forbidden in your house in another house.
People are different, and we must listen to all perspectives.
Oh,
I heard what he said. There might be trauma in that process of you smashing something that you really care about, and it might enforce a level of maybe hatred or
resentment.
Resentment against your parents for making you do that, something you really care about, which is why it is important that we also put it out there that you must talk to your children consistently. After they smashed that phone, tell them it is because I love you. It's because you deserve a better future. It is because I want you to grow and pass your exams.
But
because I want you to excel.
That.
And you are saying it over and over again and putting the right perspective to the experience that was painful that they had. They might still not get it later in future.
But that's what I'm going to say. You're going to say all that, and they may still not get it.
Okay, so
but you have to be willing. So I always say that I'm willing to be the parent that is seen as the most wicked woman in the world, the worst thing that's ever happened to me, blah, 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 because I know that in a few years, some years to come, you'll be sitting there and you'll be thanking God that I took the stance that I took. And I think parents do, that is also another thing that parenting is about. It's not about being the most loved or the most friendly mommy or parent. It's the fact that I put my love for you, my thought of good for you above how much you like me, how much you think I'm nice or whatever. In the end, as long as your life turns around, in fact, I tell my children this specifically. I said, I'm not even asking for you to thank me in the future. My thank would be that in the future, you're living life as a well-adjusted human being. I don't even need you to come back and say to me, Mommy, you were right. I don't need that. I'm willing to take the sacrifice of being all the things that you think I am the worst mother, I'm the worst everything. That is enough for me as long as when you're an adult, you're living a well-adjusted life and that you're happy.
Okay, so we'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take our final comments on this topic before we move on to something else. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you sing your day one step at a time. On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment. Only a Max Hits.
Area! Waiting the apple, waiting the shop. You need to award you waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a Max.
Late nights on Max FM is where we help you connect the dots and put you in that place where you are ready to do it right.
We are dishing out the top hits of the week, counting down the biggest songs on your radio.
Let's go.
Right now.
On Max Sports, we bring to you sporting events happening all around the world.
It's not just sports, it's entertainment.
You know what it is. It's the Max Out Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Sheen. Let's go!
We are your go-to for hit music, entertainment, and top-notch radio all day, every day. 102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Now look me straight in the eye and tell me that you sent someone to follow me to terrorize me.
I don't know what to...
Just stop lying to me, Charlie. You are the only enemy I have in this life.
All I want now is to earn your forgiveness. I'm an inmate here, just like you are.
Tommy Cruise conditional freedom.
We will now begin this process by reviewing...
Lagos, get ready to laugh like never before. It's Ajebo Unleashed 11.0, out of control. Live at Eco Hotels and Suites. Date is Sunday, 18th August 2024. Time, red carpet 6 p.m. and showtime 7 p.m. Also featuring Judge Do Funny, Romeo Without Juliet, Pencil, Mr. Paul, Memory Card, Edo Pikin, Death Stalker, and lots more. Host Lasisia Lenu and Kiki. Music by Nasboy and Tubaba. Tickets regular 7,000 naira. VIP.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're discussing parenting. Obviously, we have moved away from just the idea of smashing the phone into the seriousness of the task of parenting a child. So you cannot be a child who is immature or who is so sentimental and parent a child. For you to parent a child, you must be an adult. That means you're able to make firm decisions.
No matter what.
You are able to be rational, that you are not able to fall to the cajoling and emotional blackmail, which children are very
good at.
Yes.
Let me give you this holiday this week.
I wanted to hear from Mama too. I'll come to you.
So, to be honest, parenting is different these days. It's not the way that they brought us up. That's not the way we're going to bring up our kids. Because this is the digital age, or what would I call it, the social media era and everything. So there are times that I'll give you a personal scenario. There are times that, okay, my daughter, at first I was saying till she gets to 18 before I'll give her a phone. But I realized that when she comes back for holidays, when she's on holiday, her mates, they are there, they are chatting, they have a group, they chat, they even talk about what happened in school, they talk about their subjects, some of their subjects that they, then sometimes they talk about their assignments. The assignments, sometimes they come together and even do those assignments together. And my daughter was left out. When she got back to school, they formed a clique. So that clique of, they are more aware than she, because she is not...
The cool gang.
She's not on social media. She doesn't know anything that's happening. These are the ones that know what's happening. They formed that clique and she was left out. Throughout, she went into a bit of, she was a bit down and all of that. So I sat down and I thought of measures of how, okay, I can give her this phone. But what can I do? I'll give her time. I'll give her timing and I'll tell her the apps to download and the ones not to download. And then now I am more aware, like I am more strict. I always make sure that I am monitoring whatever it is that she's doing on the phone. On the group, when they have their group and all of that, so once they finish at the end of the day, she brings the phone, I read all their chats, I see everything, and thank God for one of the major apps, that's WhatsApp. If you delete, it will show you message was deleted. Then I'll ask her, once I see one delete, That is the end. You're not having the phone for the next 2 days. I think for now, the technology is here. All we need to do is we just need to regulate. Because if you say your child shouldn't do this, when they go to school and they see other people with these phones, they interact with them. At some point, my daughter had to open her account in her friend's phone. And that way, I was left out. I wouldn't know what's going on.
I think it's important to know.
So this parenting these days is so difficult that it's not our own type of parenting, the way our parents brought us up. We can't bring that type of that method to this present day.
Qualify the age.
So I was going to say that we need to also understand that
I don't think they are teens.
Ramota has older children.
Yes, they are teens.
And I've found that, sometimes in having conversations, you're so sure of the stance that you take until your child reaches the age that another parent is there. So I'm listening to her and I'm realizing my children are younger than your children. Yeah. So definitely you're dealing with a different level of intelligence here than the ones I'm dealing with. I'm able to still control them to a certain extent that you are unable to. So for me, hearing you, I'm learning, what I may find in future, and how you're handling it and what I would like to.
So they keep a lot of things away from you.
I have some that some parents allowed, thankfully, one device can have multiple WhatsApp. So you have a WhatsApp on my phone. You have your TikTok on my phone. You have your, so you can still feel Snapchat, like this lady, because she just finished her WAEC this year. And as she finished her WAEC, they were waiting for the result so that when she gets the agreed scores, she will get the phone. But since last year, her mom already allowed her to open, because she had passed, that was after she passed which one did they? GCE. She passed GCE. Upon passing GCE, even before finishing secondary school, she was allowed to open social media handles, and it is on mommy's phone. However, you're not getting your own phone until you pass your WAEC properly. So now we have graduated. We did valedictory. I saw it on Instagram that I've done valedictory. I was like, oh, fantastic. Do you have your 4 years? She said, no. Daddy said that until they get my WAEC results. That when they get my WAEC result and I get the A's that I promised, then I'll get the phone. But there was a conversation, at some point, a concession, so that there's still a means of communication. It's important to understand the psychic of the children as well, because you don't want to control to the point of stifling the children as much as you also want to protect them as well.
From Engineer Tijani, our friend. But before I do, I would like to say that certain values are universal. And you must instill it no matter how smart a child seems to be to you. My daughter recently was signed up for tailoring. That's what she's doing this holiday. And she comes home because the rule, you know how kids know you, and says, Mommy, my Oga slapped me. My madam slapped me. That was her word. I was like, she slapped you? She slapped me, oh. She saw that I was processing it like, how come? What happened? I said, what did you do? She said, I called her. She said, I did not talk to her well. I said, how did you not talk to her well? She refused to develop it. She kept insisting. I said, are you sure she slapped you? How could she have slapped you? Because I know this woman and me, we have a relationship. She wouldn't slap my child. She said, maybe to her, it's not a slap. But to me, it's a slap. I said, okay. When I got it the next morning, she refused to resume. 2 or 3 days after I was at home, I wasn't at work, and she refused to go to work early. I went there, and she kept emphasizing that she was slapped, she's been maltreated. I got to the shop. It was my daughter who was being rude. Reality is that you'll be shocked. Imagine me after calling the woman aside. Thankfully, I was smart not to confront. I just called her and said, please, these are the things I'm hearing. She said, I'm surprised that, she suddenly changed on me. She doesn't even like to call my name. She calls me Madam something, Mama something, like my own child. Because you don't know where they have gone. The moment you find an opportunity, you have to take it. And I don't believe that technology is the way. The way they use technology outside this country, in the Asian world, is not how our kids use it. It's dancing on TikTok that is the innovative thing. Everybody wants to be a music artist. The time that musicians started making it, then whiskey started growing. Everybody on my street, when you see them, they're working, they're singing their lyrics. Everybody must blow the same way. And how everybody became Super Eagle members and went to European clubs and made it. Everybody forgot what their real calling was and started joining clubs. Well, let me take Engineer Tijani's message. He says the PTA's reaction was a knee-jerk approach. They are at fault and should at first admit it, I agree. They ought to know that technology comes with its demands, its demerits. And this is what they should have mitigated by ensuring that they have put some control measures to restrict what they access. Are Chinese children not using electronic devices are they doing well or not? The difference between our climb and theirs is the control measures both by government and parents.
I don't agree that it was a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah,
that's
but,
not a
but
knee-jerk.
point made, the comparison is the message.
Yes.
If you see the Chinese kids, I showed my kids a video recently when I was trying to put Imran in mechanic. And I showed him girls of his age working on an engine of Chinese origin. I said, this is not, don't let anybody tell you this is a bad thing. This is what you can build on. And I was showing him that video. If a Nigerian gets hold of the phone, what they do,
we know that.
And in uncontrolled ways. And in ways that our government is not even allowed to control. When we say regulate, they will say, no, it's gagging. There are different clashes of meaning of it. When we have a national goal as to what it is, are we subscribe to it? I think we don't have.
If
we are not comparable to the Chinese at all. They are in a world of their own.
I'm sure if you live in this country, you understand that if a school should take that measure, teacher and parent, it's not because their children are using it to do work or to improve themselves.
They have done all they can.
Exactly. For parents and teachers to sit down together and come to this conclusion, it's not knee-jerk. Knee-jerk means,
conclusion.
Yes, it took sitting down and agreeing and determining what should be the best way forward for them to have done this together. So I think we should give them their flowers for that when they keep...
All right. Do we have comments on social media? Comments for or against?
I have plenty on YouTube.
Yes.
Our YouTube
the conversation there is very, very interesting, diverse and interesting.
Have different...
Sam Banks says that measure will worsen their next performance. Have you not seen a student sent to study medicine in the university, but eventually went for... Okay, I don't know if this is the same... but eventually went for musical study. Please don't harden your children. They are also human beings. I'm not sure if this is about...
Okay, Dame Ebika is responding to Fiona here. He says, I think these parents give devices to their children. They buy these devices, but they are too busy chasing money and forget to monitor the kids.
Exactly, that's responsibility.
We buy the devices so that...
a way to keep them busy.
So we keep them busy, and then we can now live our lives.
This one, Fiona says here that my friend's daughter was begging me to buy her data. Her mom didn't buy data. They took her old phone and kept looking for data to use, hiding and using because they are busy. They don't know. She doesn't even know the kids are using it. My friend, our girl that lives with her, got a way to find her old phone. She had used all her phones, one old iPhone, and the latest one came. She thought she had kept it. She doesn't check where she keeps it. The girl was clearly signed into a Facebook page. On that Facebook page, she was already being solicited for explainable content, and she gave the phone. Something was logged on that phone, I think her email or something that popped up that she was chatting with someone on her new phone. And then when she checked and went to her old phone, she was shocked to see the extent. The girl even got a SIM that she puts into the phone and makes night calls on. And the extent of the conversation had gotten too far. They were already sharing content and everything. She almost went mad. So would she rather not have that old phone and give it to someone than leave it within?
Because I remember how I used to score cheap points to some of my friends' children. Very, very cheap points. Once Auntie comes, Auntie Tokpe, the one and only Auntie Tokpe. I say, how much data do you want? That's it. Once I buy the hailing, it's just so that we have data, and then we are scoring cheap points with them. But I think this is a lesson for all parents, especially during the summer holiday. The long-term rainy season holiday, that we should encourage, we should make the sacrifice to spend as much time as possible with our children this season. Observe the things they probably cannot have time to observe when they're in school and other things, and instill the right values into them. It would be sacrificial, I can tell you. It is. Even me, I still feel like when I listen to, as we discuss on the show like this, I go back home and I tell myself I need to still do a lot more. Yeah. I need to do a lot more sacrifice to spend more time and supervise more on the things that I have given them as gadgets and all of that. So that's what we can take on this particular topic. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll move into another interesting topic. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Lagos, get ready to laugh like never before. It's Ajepo Unleashed 11.0, out of control. Live at Eco Hotels and Suites. Date is Sunday, 18th August 2024. Time, red carpet 6 p.m. and showtime 7 p.m. Also featuring Just Do Funny, Romeo Without Juliet, Pencil, Mr. Paul, Memory Card, Edo Pikin, Dead Stalker, and lots more. Host Lasisia Lenu and Kiki. Music by Nasboy and Baba. Tickets regular 7,000 naira, VIP 25,000 naira, gold table 2 million naira, and premium tables 3 million naira. Tickets are available at www.houseofajebo.com. For sponsorship and inquiries, please call 0904-398-2088. It's Ajebo Unleashed 11.0, out of control. Produced by iPlan Wonders. Packaged by Lanre Mako Events. Powered by Landmark Corporate Realty, Malta Guinness, Nutrify, McVitie's, and Uganda Airline. Media partner, TVC. Get your tickets now.
Attention, finance professionals and enthusiasts. Get ready to take your finance career to the next level.
Introducing the Account Tech Summit, hosted by the Techie Accountant, an initiative of the Lefort Foundation.
Join us for this groundbreaking event that is designed to revolutionize the finance industry and empower finance professionals in the digital age. Over 6 years, we've graduated over 1,000 professionals. Don't miss your chance to be part of this transformative experience taking place on August 15, 2024. At the prestigious 4 Points by Sheraton, Plot 910, Block 2, Oniru Chieftaincy Estate, Victoria Island, Lagos. Join finance professionals, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and more on a day of immersive learning, networking, and innovation. Register now and join us at the forefront.
Global Entrepreneurship Festival, to be hosted at the Entrepreneurship Village in Nigeria, November 22nd to the 24th. Join world leaders, heads of state, diplomats, ministers, governors, investors, policymakers, tech leaders, organizations, startups, and entrepreneurs from all over the world. To attend, visit www.globalentrepreneurshipfestival.com. For partnerships, call 234-912-165-9914. Over 20 million viewers, 5,000 event participants, 200 exhibitors, 43 global speakers, and 12 events, which includes conferences, trade fairs, innovation and robotics expo, art and creative exhibitions, a dazzling fashion show, and a closing concert. All in one global festival. Don't miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're moving into another topic entirely. Two recent activity has brought the idea of killer domestic staff into the front burner. So if we recollect, this happened like a few weeks back in Parkview Estate, where the daughter of Justice Ajimogobia was murdered by domestic staff, and disguised, they brought the body outside. And the story was that still within that Parkview, in about a year, 2 other cases similar to that, killing by domestic staff has happened, robbery happened, and then Mariam took the story today of the caterer who was celebrating her 54th birthday and invited her people, her staff, to join her in celebrating, prepared the meal for them, and at the end of the day, they murdered her and took away some items, ATM card, jewelry, phones, and the topic of domestic domestic violence initiated by domestic staff has been brought up. And I would like us to discuss this. Maybe there are stories you've heard. How do you employ the right domestics? How do you maintain a good relationship with domestic staff? There's a Yoruba proverb that says, if something negative, for something negative to happen to you, there must be an inner informant that would support that happening. So how do we treat our staff well, or how do we recruit to prevent this happening? You can join the conversation by calling us on the numbers on your screen, 0810-7641-679, or you could tweet to us or put your comment on YouTube. So Nima has not had, I know that when you joined the show, right from time, you had a policy of no domestic staff. How has that been? I know in recent time you had someone come in and then out again, but I have always had domestic staff, at least for the past 12 years. Since I had my twins, I've had someone live with me almost round the clock, except during festive seasons when they travel. How have you coped? How do you manage, and what's it been like?
So I wasn't even expecting that you'd ask me first. This is something that is presently disturbing me a lot, because I had help in 2022 after we had talked about it. Everybody had counseled I actually needed one, and I thought, okay, let me just take the risk of allowing this one in. And you know the fear that I usually have, or that makes me, is the fear of the person not being real. The person pretending just to keep a job, and my family being at risk of that person, and me overexposing myself, which is why I keep a small home where I can handle things. Sadly, this person came in, I trusted, I'd invested in her, because I don't want to bring someone into my space that I don't grow. I'd invested, counseled, put in everything, and everything was wasted. So you know how every time I think of that thing, the trauma that person has left, she might be walking around thinking, I've told everybody that knows her, nobody should come with her to appeal to me. And she must not be seen 5 kilometers around my gates. You know why? I cannot handle the betrayal of even relatives in my space, abusing it and going out. It means that I've become vulnerable to that person. One of the fears I had growing my kids was having someone in my space that I would leave my child for, even for an hour of a day, turning out to be dangerous to me or my child, exposing my child to any form of such evil. So I thought I would, scrutinize the person, and I thought, okay, everything will be done. And my sixth sense from the day I employed this woman just never rested. So a lot of times I caught her, I kept saying, Nima, it's you who is overthinking. It's you that have a problem. It's you that can so I would talk to her. And then she did something, I was like, there's something certainly wrong with this person. So I kept it open that as soon as another thing happens, she'll go. The first conversation I had with her, I said, I'll be strict with you going forward. This and this and this and this are the new rules. She just took a 360, wasted registration money for her skill, and walked away. And then people come, and they're begging on her behalf. They want to come. No, don't beg on her behalf. Because I had gone through several vulnerable situations. I thought, you cannot deliberately be like this. You are not. There's a reason I didn't take a child. I took an adult, almost 30 years old
so
adult.
That you are sure that you are not.
So that when we communicate, we understand. And I don't speak English when I communicate. As basic as the Yoruba language was, that's also the language I used with her. And what I got at the end of the day is something that made me doubt whether to try again, have someone in my space. It's a lot of work. God knows it. Housework, it's a lot. It's huge. I can never. Any woman that is doing it full time should be paid something. Huge. But the fear, the reason I don't have one is the fear of a person disguising in a wolf being in sheep's clothing. And in family space, you have freedom. This woman I never dished food for. If I go shopping, I'm shopping for her. If we slaughter anything, she's getting a part of it. If I buy rice, I'm selling, you gave her access to the food you've cooked. My mother would say, there's a way they call it now, you know that kitchen, the pot of a woman, it's your space, it's your pride. I let her, if you come, take your things. Have you eaten? Have you this? Imagine me having that fear that something is going on there and finding out later it was possible that you were like that. I don't want that kind of thing. See the case in question that we're taking, heartbreaking. There's no level of kindness you do to an evil person. There's no level of standard use, because I'm the one always judging Miriam. I don't want, you cannot be strict, you have to be a bit... see, we are reading the stories today.
She was nice.
It was nice. Okay, so I think the major problem is from we the women. Sometimes the expectations are so high. You get a maid, you expect her to just think like you, behave like you. But these people are coming from a place where there's no love. I think sometimes some of them, there's no love, and they are coming from a place where they don't have. So when they come, all they just think about is how to, get from you or something. Then if they come and you are, no matter, I've seen a lot of people who have been very nice to their mates. At the end of the day, it turns out to be something else. And some, again, they will be so terrible to their mates. I see those two wherever. For me, I actually, we always have one go that is sitting at home. Maybe she's not doing much.
Family.
Yeah, family. Those are the kind of mates I bring. And if you know, my children speak Hausa very well because of them. Because when they come, they help out in the house with the house chores and everything. So, but I've seen a lot. Me, once once I have a maid and you start annoying me, get to a stage where I will have to hit you, then it's time for you to go. It's time for you to leave. That's how I do my mates. But so far, I don't know. I can't really say much on this maid thing.
You've not had any negative experience like that?
No much negative
Mariam.
experience.
Thank God she hasn't, because we're talking of murderers here.
Yes, this is
she won't be here to talk about it if she has had the experience. So I think beyond how you treat them, how you need them, we're talking of people who, for me, I believe are criminals and have come into your home, biding their time and waiting until they can destroy your life. Either, if it's your property they steal, for me, which is the least of anything, sometimes they, murder, maybe not you, even like a loved one that you have left in their care, there's kidnapping, and that is what we're afraid of. So for me now, we're talking about the right way to get domestic staff, and also has to be with proper agencies. And these agencies, because I noticed one thing with these agencies, they are not agencies, they're just middlemen. They would have a place, and anyone that comes to them, they just churn them out, different people. They don't really know much about them. They don't know their history. You're unable to hold them if anything happens because they don't know these people. So I think in Nigeria, we need to rethink, we need to rejig the system of employing domestic staff in our home. We need a situation where you come with all your information. I've been actually interviewing helps recently. I have been unable to pick one because of the stories I think that has been in my head, because I ask you a question, I ask you a few questions about your history. Either you're reluctant to explain it to me, or you're unable to give me something that shows me what you were doing at this time to this time. For me, my hackles just get up. I'm thinking that there's an issue.
Tell lies.
So that is just me now depending on my intuition. I should be able to do more than that. I should be able to click on the site and put your name and your picture because you have said that this is the work you've always done. You have experience, and check who your references are and able to reach out to them. If the reason why you left your previous employer is not a criminal one, then you should be fine with me reaching out to them and just knowing that this is the person and, you exist and these are the circumstances in which you left or you worked with them. In this time of, this sort of stories, I'm so uncomfortable about employing one. But the thing is, I truly need help. It's been much easier, a little easier, because it's the holidays, But when school starts, everybody's getting out, you need somebody. So I wish I had a go-go that can just come and sit down in my house, but I don't. And many, especially in Lagos, many people don't have that. You've come here, 2 young people, you're starting your family, it's hard. And then you started having kids, you want somebody to help you watch your kids while you rush off to school, because you have to make the decision, do I take my 6-month-old baby to a creche, or do I leave them at home with a worker that I hardly know, trusting an agency has done their job? So those are the questions for me. And I think that as a country, the justice system, the legal system, our police, we need to look for better ways to employ, more safe ways to employ our domestic staff.
So, it's easy to talk about, I was, maybe they stole from me, or they were being deceptive, or But in this particular case, we are talking about murderers. How can you spot such cold-hearted people? I was discussing with someone who does real estate and agriculture like me, and then they have, they have cattle. And because they have heads of cattle, they have headsmen that were managing it for them in their house for generations. So there's a boy that she knew was born on their farmland. And so she brought the boy into our own business and found out later that there was arrangement to kidnap her. So a call came in and said, oh, come to the farm, come to the farm. Madam, come to the farm, come to the farm. And she was like, Aspri just said she should not go to the farm today. So she now sent someone on her behalf, and that person was kidnapped. And so this is someone that grew up on their land. And the commercial now went on like, if this person that was kidnapped, how did you know the person was coming? How did they now lay the person on the road? The now later said, no, we've prayed. The way to release is for auntie to come and pray too, just to still get the main person. And it was very heartbreaking because we all felt that the conversation, we know these people, they grew up right in front of us. Are there things that we are missing out on? Could it be based on wrong company, or are there like red flags that can help you know that this person is being, like they say, you're going into depression, or somebody is are there things you can see? Maybe you see the resentment on their faces or something that might help you notice that it's time for this person to go.
It's black market too. Anyone, if you are lucky, you get somebody that is very nice. If you are lucky, or you go Nima's route, no maid at all. If you are going to get a maid, you are just going to you just have to anything that comes, just take it like that. And just pray that this one will be a good one, because I've heard a lot of stories. I've heard a whole lot. There are some some agents, what they do is they will give you a maid, a very good one. You will like the girl will be there with you for a month, and maybe her salary is, let's say, 35,000. That agent can pull her out that month to another house that maybe they are going to give her salary of maybe say 37,000 or 40,000. You pull her out of that house and take her to the next house, and that's how you see yourself changing maid every month. If you change maids every month, you have different people coming to your house. Definitely, one day one thief will come inside now, or somebody that has spiritual problem will come. Definitely.
When Nigerians go abroad, they don't have maids.
They survive.
They survive.
Their children.
That was an ideology, and so a scenario I was painting to my husband that a home runs abroad without help, but when it's here, it's a woman's duty to run it.
But some do.
But
some do. I've
actually can afford it.
Yes. I've been
majority
to. Majority
cannot afford even nannies. My friend was talking about how if you are not above 6, you can't even get to see their public schools. So you have to pay for a private school for your under 6 children. How she's overburdened. And I was like, all this thing that with the disrespect for her, with the my daughter started school at a year 4 months. Go and start school. Don't go and shout, so because I needed a place to keep her. Those things that we abuse here. But what I'm trying to say is it works. We know dynamics of home. My own problem is my husband seeing housework as something that is
he doesn't have the time to.
He doesn't have the time to. But I make time. I run the schedule with the children. I do the school runs. I do that, and I make time to run. I cook the food every evening. If as a partner, your own is to do the laundry or the bath or pick the clothes. There was a day I dried clothes outside for 2 days. I went to see my mom. I came back on the 3rd day, it was dried.
I was there.
I came to ride well.
We wanted it to drive.
I came to pack my team by myself. I didn't feel happy.
Yeah.
But with such assistance,
this thing is what causes a lot of breakup with families that relocate as well.
Yeah.
Where when you move to that place and you have to do, men now struggle with having to do like a whole lot of house chores. But I want to come back to how to handle this domestic stuff that we bring our way, because they said that this story, according to what is on, somebody posted on YouTube, that the story of the caterer that got butchered was PA, driver, and one other person, that she got cash gifts. She actually got money. They saw that she brought in money 5 days before her birthday. So they knew she had money. And it also occurred to me. When I used to do makeup, I was in the car with a customer, and I was having conversation, and the customer was like, no. Like, we were talking in the house, and we entered the car, and I wanted to continue that conversation, and she was like, no, the driver is here. So she deliberately doesn't have some financially based conversations in the car or in front of staff, not because she cannot trust. It's not just about trust, though. It's about people don't know what they can do until they see. You might think I can overlook 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira until the person hears you have 10 million naira cash inside the boot. That's when you realize that a very good person can do very bad things. So preventing your
So you had asked the question, everyone has answered about how do you tell. I feel that, like I said, you cannot tell. And even if you think you can, because some people will tell you, oh, I'm quite perceptive and intuitive, it should not be enough. Yes, there are situations where you have been with someone has worked for you for many years, and then the person turns on you. We've actually read stories like that. And when they catch them, they say, this man has been nothing but good to me and my family. I've been with this man 10, 15 years. I don't know, the devil fell upon me. Wow. But I feel that there's a recent trend of domestic workers going to homes, and within a month, they do things like this.
They can tell.
So yes, so it looks like there's an organized sort of crime that's happening in this particular industry. And so this is where I was saying that the police needs to be involved. It should not just be left to my good judgment or my intuition to determine, or red flags to determine. My red flags, I've interviewed over 10 helps. I've not been able to employ anybody based on my red flags and my intuition. Maybe I've even let some good ones go. I wish I was able to have something more concrete to use for that.
I thought before I thought you can
register them at the police.
There was a man that used to come on our show a few years back when we were still in the other building that said he does background checks. Because I think he services drivers in multinationals and all those ones. So they do like a thorough background check for each of the employees. Know their, like, as far back as your village, your parents, and all of that. It doesn't guarantee that a bad person will not still turn out a bad person, but it just gives you a sort of level of protection. Another thing I heard was going to register when you employ. You do like health check and blood check. But you can also not take them to the police station and they take their fingerprints and take their pictures so that they know that their fingerprint and picture is with the police. I haven't done it before. I just feel like it's
I've never gone. We have to start doing it now.
You take them all the way to the police. I say, please stand, let me take a picture of you. So they know that a picture of them is taken. Front view and side view. I do that. I have not, which one? I have to say it in public. I've never had to go to the police to take it.
So you're using agents now?
Yes, because I'm using agents. But you see that one that you also talked about. I'm not saying all of them, but I've also worked with agents like that claim they have done all this background check. Then something happens and they say, but... And then you realize really there was no background check, because for agencies also, the money is important for them. How fast they are able to send these people to workers is very important, because it takes a long time to do a background check. That's money for them that is just going. So those are the issues. That's why we need to make it a very licensed, properly organized industry, really, so that people can be...
That would be the ideal.
My advice is manage as much as possible to do your home. And if you can employ someone who takes it as a job, resume in the morning, closes at night,
is that safer?
Yeah,
that one
I think it's preferable for me.
No, because they will leave. They will do what they have to do and they will leave.
No, you watch. That's the money.
No, but they will steal, and then the next day in the morning.
This matter seems beyond our knowledge.
They
don't have the technology to back it up.
Yes, now.
We will just have to leave it on a prayer matter. Nigeria will just confound you. You will say, by the grace of God, God and I, all of us watching and all of us in the studio, will not fall in the hands of killer domestic staff. In Jesus' name. Amen. Inshallah. So that's what we can take on today's show.